I'm Danae Green, and I'm joined here with my co-host, the lovely
Sarah Mihich.
Awesome. Well, welcome back to our second episode of Wine About Your Data. So once again, we're bringing a couple of our favorite things together, data
and wine.
And so we're going to chat about all things nonprofit, all things data, and we're going to hopefully at the end of this have one less thing for you all to whine about.
And we are drinking a wine with Indiana on it, Danae.
Oh, you're cute. That's cute. Where do you think Wabash is, our home quarters for TCG?
I'm going to say the barn.
Yeah.
It's like a little barn.
I'd say that. We got some farmers around here.
Like kind of like over here. Yeah. Right. Do I know my
We're
geography
close.
of Indiana?
Good job, you Indianapolis resident.
I know. City life.
You city life. Coming out here to the country, which we love. So once again, welcome back to Wine About Your Data.
Yeah.
And we got a good show for you today. So what are we talking about today, Sarah?
I think we're going to talk about data-informed organizations.
Ooh.
Data-informed's a buzzy word, I think.
It is. Is it a buzzy word?
It's like a hot thing right now.
It's not
maybe data-informed.
It's not
maybe data-driven.
Data-driven. That's what I hear all the time.
Yeah.
I know, but I actually like data-informed.
Yeah, I think you like this. I think you should share some lights on like the tensions between bringing in intuition, expertise, and the data. Like, talk about that.
Yeah, I will. Because at heart, I'm a practitioner.
Yeah.
Like, I did not come from the data side like you did.
Yeah.
I came from the side of direct childcare in a child welfare system. I came in from just like truly marketing, communications, and like obviously that stuff pulled in a lot more data as I grew in my field.
Right.
But when I hear data driven, I think we're just like solely focused on the numbers. And we don't take into account all the other things that are happening outside of just the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, the data-driven topic is a little like, oh, what about the humans? And what about all this experience that I had in my field?
Yeah.
And all the things that I see around me that's impacting the data. There's more to the story.
Yeah.
And so I think what I've loved about TCG and working with all the data analysts here and just our data work in general is that more integrated approach.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like that's what I love about the word data informed. It says, let's bring our expertise and your knowledge, your years of experience, the practicality, the day-to-day world. If you're a teacher in the classroom, like you are experiencing that day to day.
Yeah.
And so it's not just the data on the test scores of those kids who are learning. It's all of it. And so I think that's what I love about this topic.
And I think
it bridges that gap.
It does bridge that gap. And when organizations want to be more data informed, it's usually then they're like, we need the data. We just need the data. And they forget about the intuition piece. It's like equally as important. I would say more important sometimes.
Yeah. So you're saying like, don't lose that piece.
Lose it. Yeah.
We just want to add in the data savviness and some of that data sophistication that you may be missing.
Right.
And that's that whole thing. So I don't know. I think in our world of cause-based operations, you know, the stuff that we're all working with, I mean, yes, the data is important, but I always remember that the data is usually human lives.
Yeah.
It's a community. It's people.
Yeah.
And all of them matter. And so that's what I love about this concept of bridging that gap. And I just think there's a lot of tension, too, between being able to really do the data.
What do you mean?
Well,
what are you talking about?
I'm not you, Sarah. I don't know how to always make those spreadsheets so
No, you don't want to just draft up a survey and get the data? No.
I mean, I am far better than I ever was prior.
I'll give you that. I mean, you've come a long way. You've come a long way.
But
I think you ran in a question or two on a survey.
Yeah. But like before then, it's not like that was what I did every day.
Yeah. Right. No, it's a muscle you have to build.
Ooh. A muscle that I have to build. I do like that. You're right. I've had to build my data muscles. And I would say that's not what I went to school for. That's what they were training me. Like that's not.
No, I don't think
development
in our field. No one's like, I'm going to do data.
No, you don't think so?
No, I don't think so. Like, I'm going to go get my degree in social services. I'll have to write a survey.
You don't think that's how it goes down?
I don't think so.
No, I don't either. And that's where I think it's just like hard for us to like go to that next step. And so I do think that's it. So I don't know. I just think leveraging the data though and being able to truly integrate it and build that muscle It just takes a lot of work on the organization's part to get there.
Yeah.
But I do think data informed is where the industry and the world is going.
Yeah.
And so we have to start really training people, even though that's not what you went to school for.
Yes.
So
you gotta have it. What we talked about on the last episode.
I know.
Of like, why data?
I know.
We have to have it.
We have to have it because we want to have funding, impact, prove our results,
money.
Use it.
That's
money,
nice.
all the good things. Okay. So I guess the next question is, so I know that I need to be data informed as a professional.
Right.
And I know that our organization needs to probably up its game a little bit around it. But my question is how? So like, what is the approach, Sarah? Like you taught me so much. So like, what do I do now?
So at TCG, we have 4 components to becoming a data informed organization. So the first one is clear metrics, right?
Fascinating.
Yeah. They have to be, smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, timely.
We've all heard that.
We all heard that, but you have to have a metric. You need to know where you're going, understand the goals, and then data access is next. So where are you going to get that data?
Yeah.
Can you find it?
Right.
Or is it just sitting on your desk? Like we all have that.
Like on the spreadsheet, on the person who's been using the data, keeping the data for a long time.
Yes.
They're the only ones that know it's there.
No, that's not data access. Everyone needs to have everyone in the organization. Everyone.
Yeah. Which is a big deal.
It's a big deal. That's actually a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And I don't think people think about that naturally.
Right. Because there's a lot
They're like, we have it.
Right. There's a lot of moving. Right. Don't just collect your surveys and then don't enter them in somewhere.
Susie has it in her office.
Susie has it.
I can literally
I think you have experienced this.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Susie has it, but no one knows that Susie has it unless you knew.
Yes.
So, okay, interesting.
It's probably part of someone's orientation training. Go to Susie for the data. It's on her desk.
Yeah. Okay, the third one, though.
The third one is data literacy. And so that's making sure to have the knowledge to understand the data. So are there data dictionaries, data manuals? Are there tutorials? Can staff understand the data?
What the data point means, how you got it.
The definitions, methodologies.
I think that was a big learning tool for me.
It's still a learning, I think, sometimes for myself. Okay. Because I look at public data all the time. I'm like,
how did they get there?
How did they get there? Where did this data point come from? And then writing out, if I collect data, writing out the methodology for someone else to understand it. Yep. It can be challenging.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
And last one, I think this is your favorite.
It is.
Because you're all about leadership. It's leadership buy-in. So they have to be able to say, this is important. We are doing this.
Yep.
So.
Well, they set the tone for the organization.
Set the tone. Yeah.
For the organizational culture. And in general, data collection and doing all of these things takes a fair amount of time and energy. Yeah. And that is that tension that we were even talking about in the very beginning is I'm over here serving these kids, trying to do what I consider that real mission critical work. And it is. And yet I still need to have the data to back that up. And so data does take time and energy.
And not everyone has a data person in their organization.
And that's
sad.
Hard. It is sad, actually.
Have a data.
You should. And if you don't, we understand why. It's not always feasible. You don't always have access to those kinds of expertise.
Right.
You may not have the funding for that. And we get that. There's a lot of disparity at times around the data and having access to it and being able to do this whole data informed culture thing. But as far as leadership buy-in and stuff, they really do set the tone.
They do.
And they're the ones that are really going to help drive and propel the use of data in day-to-day world in your organization. So, oh, goodness. Okay, so tell me about an example. You've done all this work, Sarah.
We've done all. We have a team.
We do.
But
you've done all this work with clients over the years that you've been here. And so maybe tell me about a time where you've really done this data-informed work with a client.
Yeah.
I know you're doing one right now.
I'm doing one right now, and I love it because it's really cool seeing everybody get excited about it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, you could do that. That's cool. So it's kind of fun. So we are working with an organization right now that serves individuals with disabilities.
Okay.
And so we are working with them to become a data-informed organization. So walking them through those 4 different components that we just talked about. And so what does that actually look like? So we come in and we do an audit of all of their data, which is really overwhelming. And
you say all of their...
All of it. Finances, grant. I want to see how are you using data in your grants and your fundraising, marketing. I want to see what other reports are you pulling? What reports do you have just on your desktop? I want to know it all.
Okay.
I also just want to understand, how are you using it on your daily basis? Are you just looking at it, or are you sharing it with your team? How exactly are you using it? So it's just a big audit at the very beginning, just to kind of understand where are you at currently.
It's a data dump.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. And as you're having conversations with the teammates too, you find out that there's even more. And you're
that wasn't shared.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. We're collecting a lot of data. And I don't remember the exact number, but we told them that they're collecting at least over 100 data points. And their eyes were we didn't know we were collecting that much data.
So so I think this is also a misconception. We need the data. And you're saying we have a ton of it.
You don't need a ton.
We now need to get smarter.
We need to hone it in on what are those key data points as an organization that we should be looking at. And I would say you don't need any more than 3 to 5. Wow. Keep it high level, basic. Right. And you might for your programs have other data points that you want to look at.
Yeah, other KPIs.
Is good, fine.
Yeah.
But if you don't need 100, that's too much.
Right. You can't keep up with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're doing this audit. We make recommendations. We clean up their metrics for them. And now we have the fun part of actually improving their work. So we'll be doing trainings. We'll be creating standard operating procedures, definitions, methodologies. And so, but it's an ongoing process.
And you just did the logic model you did a clear metric.
Clear metrics.
Because you just tagged me.
Yes, I just tagged you. And now you have to turn it into marketing.
I know. So you're doing the data up front, and then I'm coming in on the back end to do some of the marketing, communication, fundraising side of things. So once again, we're a good
pair. I know. We work so well together.
Do that, Dad. And then I'll come in on the back.
And you put a little bow on top.
I will put a bow on top. But so you kind of walk them through then.
Yeah.
All of these 4 steps. And you did an individual assessment with everybody.
We did an individual assessment and an organizational assessment. So we use data to inform our recommendations to them.
So you truly then asked all of them to take these assessments, and then based on where they all landed, then you are creating improvement plans from them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And it would be in those 4 buckets of clear metrics, access, literacy, and leadership buy-in. And so basically we're saying, which one does this organization really need to improve in the beginning to really get us moving? Right. So what was it? What was their leader?
Data literacy.
Okay.
Is an area that they need to focus on.
That's what they all...
And they were very strong on leadership buy-in, which I was kind of glad because
Since you were there as a consultant.
I was like, I don't want to convince leaders they need the data. you just need it.
Well, I always feel like leaders, they'll come around when the funding comes around. Okay. So now that you have that, and you'll start the training.
Yep.
And then you'll pass it off to me.
Yeah.
And we'll make beautiful materials, marketing, communications work out of it. So
the data informed work is ongoing. Just because we end our time together with this client doesn't mean that their journey will end with becoming data informed. It's a continuous.
It's a continuous process.
Continuous.
So
never ends.
You have to keep
doing the work.
Oh, great. That'll be the right line about your episode. No, it never
ends.
We'll start singing the song.
Oh, no, don't do that.
No, don't do that. Okay. All right. Well, we won't do that. But okay. Well, that was awesome. And I love to hear that it really was the data literacy. And because, at the beginning, I was telling you that's one that I think was way more important for me that I just never thought about. I didn't know how to really read the data even that I was getting. So, and what that really meant. All right. So it's that time here where we do our wine recap and think about all of the lessons that we have learned today. So with that, we kind of have some key things here. And one is really just managing that tension, right, between being data informed or data driven or using our intuition. It really is that integration of all the things that I truly believe in, which is like there's so much that all of the folks that are in the trenches know, and all the context and the historical information that everybody brings to the conversation really needs to be paired with and married to the data. And that really is the full story of impact for your organization. So it really is managing that tension between the two. The other one is our data-informed approach. And Sarah, what were those 4 points again?
Okay. Clear metrics, data access, data literacy, and leadership buy-in.
I love it. And just so you guys all know, we're going to bring you each of those more independently in a podcast episode because really all of them deserve their own conversation.
They really do. Yeah.
And so we will bring those. So stay tuned for that. And then, you highlighted an organization that serves disabilities and their journey on becoming data informed and their work that they are doing with you right now and the work that they're going to have to continue to do. So, Sarah, what is the one key takeaway that you want all of our audience and our listeners to do?
Yeah. In our show notes, we're going to link a data-informed toolkit and a self-assessment. So take those and download it and assess where your organization is in becoming data-informed.
And that assessment really is around those 4 key components that you just talked about. And so it'll give you a jump start on whether or not you know where you land on being data-informed. Yeah. So I guess in the meantime, right? Yeah. Cheers to you.
Yeah, cheers. We did it.
Cheers to you. Cheers to you. And may you guys continue on your journey of being awesome transformers, doing incredible work in your communities.